Welcome back to my new old house. So I'm not making new garden beds just yet. For today's purpose, I just want to be able to plant my transplants. So I need to make an herb bed. Also, I have transplants for seed saving, and I have the potatoes that are dying to grow. So let's go down to the garden. So this is what we have to work with. So I'm gonna pick a bed that's the easiest to clean, or I'm just gonna start from this end because they're all pretty weedy. And looks like they do get sun all the way to sunset, so it is definitely a good spot. I discovered that I have a bleeding heart blooming. Definitely I'm gonna keep this guy, and then this fall I will transplant it to a flower bed. Also, I found a planter of what I think they are is gooseberry or some kind of berry. It's not definitely not raspberry. It could be currant as well. So what I'm gonna do with these, I'm gonna see what's along this fence, and if I have space I may just put it right there. And on that note, I will have to do some surveying of the land, at least where the back is, because if that is not in my property, then I'm not gonna bother. I'm gonna have to move closer this way potentially. So I am working outside today. The ground is nice and moist, so it's kind of easy to pull the weeds. It's really good that it had some coverage. I was talking to the old groundkeeper who's been working on these beds, helping to weed when the old lady lived here. And he was recalling the time when the lady was like 100 years old and still just do what I'm doing here, basically sitting out here and pulling weeds. That's me in a few decades. I'm gonna put down weed barrier and plant into that. I think that will save me some energy for other things. So I'm trying this guy. Oh, came with these staples. I forgot. That's good. There's 4 layers. And it's this wide. So that's perfect. I think it's not windy. It doesn't cover exactly everything, but I expect that I'm gonna have to keep weeding anyway. This is not 100%. But that's okay. We'll start with 6. If I have to use bricks, I have enough bricks to put around the edges. Alright, let's cut that. That was easier than I thought. I think I'm going to start with the strawberries. So about every foot put a slit. It would be better if I use scissors. I don't know. Cleaner, I think. Maybe. So here are my strawberries from my old garden that I dug up. And they're still alive, sort of. I mean, when you buy strawberry roots or plants, they even look worse than this. So I think it's gonna be good. Look at these, trying to grow. I mean, look at this guy. They were in the box for like almost, was it a week? And that time they did not have any flower. But now it's flowering outside of the ground. How crazy is that? They really want to go. So I'm gonna make sure they get planted and watered in nicely today. Look at that. And then, come on, nature. Imagine these guys 1 week from now. They're gonna be gorgeous. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and each row has 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So that will be 45 plants, but I could still put in 3 more here. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So I planted 41 and watered them nicely. I don't have a hose long enough to bring it out here, so I had to carry the water, but it took 2 cans of water that size. So I'm gonna take a little break. This bed will be potatoes. I started out with Russian banana, and they are way overdue for planting. So I'm putting about 2 or 3 little ones in one hole. I've got this many. I had some visitors. My neighbors came across and we were chatting for a long time. I don't even know, an hour or 2. Time flies by when you're having fun, but I was able to finally finish these 3 beds that I set out to do. I have my herbs on this side. I have chives, parsley, 2nd year parsley. I have some oregano. I couldn't find my other stuff, but chives are along there. And then these are my seed growing area. I'm gonna grow seeds for beets and 2 types of carrots and parsley and celeriac. I'm gonna grow my seeds from last year's harvest that I just took out from the garden. And this bed has 3 types of potatoes. As I said earlier, I think that's the Russian banana, and this is the red yingling, I think, or whatever it's called. Anyway, this last one is just plain old yellow potatoes from last year. I ended up finding 2 more strawberry plants with the other herbs, so this is a full bed except for 2, but it's alright. I'm gonna call this done. And now, believe it or not, I'm gonna go and survey the land. Finally! So it's the next day. I started surveying my land as far as where the boundaries are. And I get just really tired walking. It's a long walk going around, and sometimes I had to go a couple of times to double check my measurements. Here's the plan of my boundaries. It says there's a pin, supposedly, right here. So the way my land is really, when you walk around it at least, you kind of go straight here. So my fence is probably going to be right there, kind of straight. It's just going to be easier for me, right behind the shed. But apparently it does go over to the other side. So right now the growth that you see on the side, I'm going to show you when we get there. The growth is going this way. So this side is fairly simple because there is an existing fence. There is a partial fence right here that you can tell that used to be the edge of the land. And then here's where it's kind of questionable as to which way this should go really, but as I said, the new fence gonna be just kind of going straight here and then here, just like the line is. So right now I just have to clarify in my head how far from the shed is my boundary. I measured 5.5 feet. So interestingly enough, I'm gonna actually lose some of my garden beds here because this side actually has been cut off, and I lost some land here and here, and of course all this land is gone in the subdivision. So come along, I'll show you the process. It's really not scientific at all. It's just it has the number of feet. It doesn't really tell me the angles, so I kind of guess a lot of times which way do I have to go. But if, as I said, if I just figure out where I'm not outside of the line, that's good enough for me when I build the fence. I need to be 30 feet from the garage wall. That's about it right here. For now, I just need it so when we do put up the fence, we're gonna stay inside, probably about a foot, but for now, just we need to know where to mow. measurement from, well, let's see. Make sure it's square. I'm gonna measure from that gate. Hopefully I can get the laser to focus. Because you need 2 points at least to establish a straight line, right? It's sunny, it's hard to do this because I don't see the laser. It says 1 foot. Okay. Maybe I need to stand like this. Yeah, it's not hitting there. What I can do is actually try to do it this way, maybe. Like a bigger object, and I think the sun is in the way, so I think I'm gonna get to that tree, and then the other thing I can do is measure it with my foot. My foot is 11 and a half, so let's see how many chicken steps I call it. Next challenge is going to be figuring out where this reference point is. So it says 85 feet from the corner of the basement entrance, which is over there, that side. And I wish they would have measured it from here to this corner, but no. So I'm gonna figure out where that is. I think it's about 45 degrees in relationship to the garage. So I kind of can get my direction. So I have to step that out. I need to figure out what is 85 feet with my little foot. I wish I had a 12-inch foot. So this is 85 feet from there. I think it's 45 degrees. Yeah. So here's my next reference point. I'm definitely getting my mileage today, which is okay. Let's see. So now what I need to do is go back there and establish that straight line that goes parallel my shed, and then I will be able to measure from here to that line 107 feet, because again, this is an angle that's not indicated here, but maybe it is, I just don't know how to read it. And the other thing, I did figure that from the garage far left corner here, it's 101.25 feet. So actually I could do that instead, and that's gonna give me the next reference point that will connect this and that point for this distance. So let me do that, because I know where the garage is. So it's 101.25. So the sad part about this, if you look at where my line is, the raspberries are outside of my yard. The good part is I can probably move these fence posts if they come out easy. But I also have to move my raspberries. The other sad part is that it looks like I'm gonna lose a couple of garden beds, so good thing I didn't start with these. And my fence is gonna be just, I think, right behind. Am I losing that bed too? Shoot. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna have to measure this one more time, because I want to make sure I'm not losing 3 garden beds. I'm gonna go and measure behind the shed, because it's supposed to be a certain distance from the back of that shed, like 5 feet. So let's do that. I think they're gonna build like a retaining wall here for the other houses behind it. So there will be some easement between that and my fence. So this will be the key, determining how far from the shed I can go. So this is this shed right here, and according to my measurement is 5.5 foot, 5.6 exactly. Pretty tight. I don't know if you can see me, but the good thing about all these constructions that are going to take place, it's not going to happen until probably 2 more years. However, I do have to put up a fence before that happens, so I'm going to have to move my strawberries somewhere else, but I'm not going to build a fence probably until this fall. I think I have better things to do for now, but definitely I want to measure out things, and I'm ready for that point. How far is this? Yeah, it's right here where the back of the bench is. Move it this way. 5.6 right here. right here. Oh man, I'm gonna lose a lot of this garden. From that point, I need to go straight parallel to the house 153 feet, and that's gonna take me into that bush right there. Before I get on with my next little project here, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. I'm gonna lay down here for 10 minutes. There's a fallen tree close to my new fence line, which I want to keep because it has an interesting shape. I kind of like it. I'm gonna leave it as it is, except this end of it, it's kind of fallen on that other tree, and also it kind of sticks out beyond the future fence, so I'm gonna clean it up a little bit, but not until I'm done with my break. This is the after picture after I cleaned up this fallen tree, and I trimmed this one, got the vines off it as well. It looks really healthy just as it is. I probably will trim it more maybe next year, but for now this looks really good. I may tackle that one, although that's not even on my official land. Maybe some other time. I'll see you next time.